Hey guys, what is up? And it is Dan here again, and I'm gonna just basically make this video, show this to you real quick. I don't want to take too much time because, you know, a lot of my videos get to be really long and I just talk forever, so I'm gonna try to keep this relatively short. But I just thought I'd make this video because lately I've been getting a lot of comments and emails from people kind of asking me, do you still have that U-boat model that you built out of Legos? And to answer that question, I thought I'd make this video to show you guys, yes, I still have it, I didn't get rid of it, and no, it's not for sale. I'm probably never going to sell this, actually. It's just too special. But just to go over real quick, this is my model of a Type 7C U-boat from Germany, used in World War II, and it's entirely made out of Legos, as you can see. It's about 1/72 scale, and I think it measures about slightly over 3 feet long, or roughly about a yard, and like maybe another inch or two past a yard. Anyways, since you guys last saw it, really not too much has changed. You know, last I showed you guys this was about a year and a half ago, and what ended up happening was on its last voyage where I actually sailed it, it got damaged somehow. I don't remember exactly how. I think it hit a rock or something. It got all beat up. At this point in time, I was tired of working on it and tired of maintaining it, so I just ended up giving up. It was late in the season anyways, going in towards winter, so I wasn't going to sell it anymore anyways, so I just ended up putting it away in my attic, and it sat for about another year and a half. So here we are, about that time later, and we're coming up on the season again, towards the beginning of fall, which is when I usually like to go out and sail this, usually because the waters are calm, there's not many fishermen around, and pretty much no fish either. So that's usually the time I like to go out and sail this. So I thought I'd pull it back out, you know, kind of evaluate the situation, see how bad it really was. I ended up concluding that it was probably fixable, so I ended up making the decision to go ahead and basically restore it. So after some time, about a couple of weeks or so, kind of on and off work, fixing it and whatnot, I got it back up to its old self, and it's basically usable again. So I'm just going to go over and show you this real quick. And again, this is U-571. This is the movie version of the U-boat that was used in the movie U-571, which, if you recall, was a mock-up of a Type 7C U-boat, and they did a really damn good job, if you ask me. It was a really good-looking sub, and it really made a great stand-in for the movie. I'm not sure what they ever did with that afterwards. I think it went to some sort of training program or something in Italy, I think. Yeah, that's not important right now. Anyways, I basically made this movie on the I basically made this model off the movie boat, and I'll explain a few things here in just a second. But anyways, you know, just basically following a real Type 7C all the way along. And again, not too much has been changed, but I did correct a few things that I thought were inaccurate or unprototypical compared to a real Type 7. Most recently, the only real thing I added was this hatch, which was supposed to be here, and originally that was just more of this Lego deck pieces. So what I ended up doing, I removed those pieces and then replaced it with this makeshift hatch I made out of Legos and a brake wheel from a model train. I added that there, and actually there should be one here too, but as you can see, there's no room, so I didn't add that hatch there, I just left that blank. I'll just basically start, I guess, from this front, I guess. Anyways, I kind of redid the net cutter a bit. I kind of basically redid that with styrene. It got damaged a little, and a few of the saw blades on it got beat up or dulled down because, like I said, I think it hit a rock or something when it was underwater, and it got beat up, and then I found that out later. Anyways, all that was redone, and that's all styrene pieces. It's amazing what you can do with that styrene plastic, and it's just basically popped onto the Legos, and it sticks really well, doesn't move around. And as you can see, there's one net cutter on the bottom, and then the big rail, and then a net cutter with the electrical wire on the top. And later on in the Type 7s and basically all the U-boats later on, those were removed simply because net cutters kind of were not needed anymore at this point in time in the war. I think it was like 1944, or around that time they started just simply removing those, simplifying them. And personally, I think a U-boat looks a lot better with those, to be honest, because they look kind of cool. But yeah. Anyways, as you can see, I kind of made a pretty simplified dive plane. You can see here, and all it is just two Lego pieces and then some thread connected directly to the boat. And it's on both sides, as you can see. It's what you'd call makeshift, I guess. And they look pretty good. They stand in really well. Yeah, I don't really have many issues with those. I kind of added those later on. Originally it didn't have those, but I decided to add those later because I thought it looked cooler. Moving along the deck. I may or may not, I might have moved a few of the deck pieces around too, you know, being flat pieces and then the graded deck pieces. I might have moved those around too. I'm not sure, but that's not important. Going to the conning tower, all basically original. I did modify the flak gun again, which is a 20mm. I did kind of simplify it. I basically painted a lot of the parts that I left unpainted originally, and I painted those the Kriegsmarine gray to blend it all in. The biggest change I did to it was add that gun sight. If the stupid camera will focus, there we go. You can see that gun sight right there. I added that, and that's just a N-scale. A piece from an N-scale rail car, as you can see. And now inside the conning tower, I don't know if a lot of people picked up on this or not, but you see where the periscope is incorrect. Where the periscope should be is actually where about this hatch is. This is all kind of done backwards. The hatch should be up front here, and then the periscope should be here. But I never ended up changing that, and originally this did have a periscope, but I then kind of thought, you know, it kind of looks better to have that down anyways, since it's not really going underwater or anything. You know, it'd be down since they're actually sailing it, so I thought it'd just look better. And I didn't change any of that around either. I might, but I probably won't. So I just kept all that like it was. Well, just one thing to go over the conning tower real quick. The emblems on the sides, those are hand painted. But as you can see, it looks pretty rough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up getting water slide decals made. I'm working with a friend right now. He's going to try to make me these emblems off the movie version of U571. And I'm hopefully going to have that made into a decal, and then afterwards I'll just sand all that paint off and then redo it, and then add the decals, and it'll look a hell of a lot better. Hopefully soon enough. Now the biggest change I did to this boat since you guys last saw it was this new railing. As you can see, it's more prototypical for a Type 7C. It's this kind of an ergonomic shaped railing, which you saw in a lot of these. And if you recall, the handrail I had originally was more of like a simplified handrail I made out of styrene. It was just like a kind of an angle piece, and it looked really bad. And I just got tired of it, but the only reason I added that was because I didn't think I could make one. Well, recently I decided I was tired of seeing that because it looked so bad. I basically removed that. I took some drawings and sketched out on a piece of styrene the shape and design of the new railing, and then cut it out and then put it all together, and then just basically glued everything together as I built it. I built it in sections, like as you can see, this is a section right here. This is a section right here, and then this all is its own section too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 different parts, and that's on both sides, as you can see. And then I just made the other end with thread, and you can see that goes all the way back. There's 2 lines here guarding around the conning tower so that the crew members don't fall off on the sides walking around, since that's kind of a hazard. And then it goes all the way to the railings here at the other end of the conning tower. One thing I forgot to show you is the flag, which I added. That's probably not an accurate, and I don't think it is. I don't think that's an accurate Nazi U-boat flag. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. But you guys can correct me on that if you want. It's probably not. So I'll probably remove that and redo it. I should have looked at a picture when I did that, but I don't think I was. Anyways, moving on. The handrails are done. That looks a lot better. The 88mm deck gun on right in front of the conning tower hasn't been changed much either. I kind of simplified it because, if you recall, I put a lot of detail on it, and what I ended up finding with that it looked kind of busy, or it was over detailed, you could say. Like every individual knob and lever was on this thing, and it looked kind of clunky. So what I ended up doing was simplifying it, and I removed most of those more unimportant parts and left the important ones like the armrests and the other little sights and stuff here and there. I kept all that there, but really just a simplified 88 mil, you could say. And it does have some rotation. It can't elevate or anything, but it does have rotation. So it can move around a little bit, but not much. Really that's about it. Modification-wise, I really, like I said, didn't do too much to change it. I'm going to go and try to answer a few questions, though, I've had. One of the questions, and is a big one that I left a lot of people with their head scratching in the end because I didn't answer it correctly, was how I get this thing to actually sail. And I'm going to get a piece real quick to show you. Alright, I got the piece, and basically how I got this to sail was a matter of counterweight, or ballast. And see, what ended up happening, if you were to just put this in the water directly right now, it would end up sailing like on it, tipped over on its side like this, because there's no real balance in the body of the ship anyways. So the solution to this was to add counterweight, which I made here out of a Lego piece, and then the inside is a socket for like a wrench. I don't think it's a wrench, it's like a socket tool. I don't remember what it's called. You guys know what that is. But anyways, it's just secured in place, and then I just wrap everything with electrical tape to blend it in and basically keep the weight inside. But basically what you do is you take this weight and then you mount it directly underneath the conning tower in the direct center of the boat, and that stabilizes it. And it's not too heavy, so it doesn't drag it down, but it keeps it level is what it does. And now the other thing, like I said, this boat you can dive this boat and then it can resurface, and that was another thing I didn't really explain properly. So I'm just going to try to explain that too real quick. Again, using ballast, or the counterweight which I have here, this one will basically level the boat and keep it from, wobbling around in the water. But adding a second one to the front, right behind the dive planes, is how I get the boat to dive. And it's not an unrealistic dive either, where it just plops underwater like it's sinking or being dragged down. It's more of how a real U-boat would actually dive. Simply because it's not just sitting in the water, not moving around. It's actually being guided by strings, so it's moving at the same time it's diving. So it's kind of a realistic dive. And I want to try to get a video of that soon enough, but things last I tried weren't cooperating very well, so I never got around to it. But hopefully I can show that to you later on. But yeah, anyways, taking two counterweights and attaching them to the boat, that's how you get the boat to dive. Now, resurfacing, what you do, see, there is a line when this is all put together and it's all ready to sail. I have a line basically directly attached to the counterweight too, not just the boat. And anyways, to remove the counterweight, I just basically yank on the string, even if it's underwater, and that basically breaks the counterweight off, and then I pull the counterweight back up with a string, and then the boat will slowly start to resurface. Because it's heavy enough that it's not extremely lightweight where it just floats right back up to the top. It's more of a gradual surface, so it's really realistic. Like I said, I'll have some videos of that soon to try to basically show you how it works. Hopefully that'll go well, and heck, if I can get an underwater camera, it'll probably work a lot better. But yeah, that's basically how the boat operates itself, is with counterweights. And that was a big thing I wanted to try to explain and discuss, because like I said, I left a lot of people with their heads scratching, thinking, how the heck did you get that thing to dive? It's Legos. So, I apologize for not explaining that better, but I hope this helps, and hopefully that helps. But one other question that I had about the boat was, why is it flat on the bottom? As you all know, if you know about a Type 7 U-boat, it goes a lot deeper than this. See, I modeled the boat to be about at the water line. The water line, if it were sailing in the water right now, a real Type 7 would be coming up right to the ballast tanks on the side, right here at this line, or maybe even a little higher than that, probably up to the ballast fence. That might be. But anyways, I basically modeled this boat at the waterline. I didn't go all the way down with it, and the reason was I wanted this boat to operate. And the problem with having all those extra Legos to create the full body of the craft, which would actually go probably about down to here, and then trying to attach a counterweight to all that, with all that extra weight of like basically a whole other boat shell thing directly underneath the boat itself, it created a lot of weight and the boat would just sink with all those extra Legos on it. So it ended up causing some problems, so I ended up not adding that. Now if this was just simply a display model, then I would have all that added and everything, but being that I actually use this, I didn't add that. And I guess if you think about it, it's prototypical anyways, being that the real U-571 from the movie was just a mock-up boat anyways. It wasn't a full build of a U-boat. It just basically came to about this deep anyways. So I guess it's realistic if you think about it. So I just let that one slide down. But, you know, I thought I would show you guys this again real quick because a lot of people have wanted to see this. But hopefully I'll have some more videos of this coming up soon where I can show you and get some action shots of it, which will be really, really cool. And, well, who knows? Maybe in the future I'll actually be able to get a model of a U-boat. What I'm thinking of doing later on, when time and money allows, I'll probably get a VIIC or a Type 7 U-boat kit from Revel. You probably all know what that was. This is the 172 scale boat, which is about the same size as the Lego Craft. And basically I'm just going to build one of those and try to detail it and hopefully make that an RC boat too. That's just one of those kind of plans that I've kind of kept aside for now, though, simply because the investment just wasn't there at the time. So hopefully later or soon enough. But for now I'm really happy with this boat, and it really looks nice and I'm really happy with it. Just to conclude this video, the plans are I want to try to build another ship to go along with this. If you recall, I had a British destroyer which I built. I don't think it was really even based on a particular prototype of a British destroyer anyways. But long story short, that one got destroyed in an accident. I think someone dropped it or something, and I just didn't want to try to rebuild it because it was too much of a mess. Anyways, I'm going to hopefully try to build another, either a destroyer or I'm going to try to build a British supply ship, maybe like a freighter or either a tanker. Maybe even both if I can get enough bricks, but that's the plan really. And again, these will all be the same scale as this U-boat, so as you can see, I mean, that's a good yard, a little over a yard long, so having a 10 times bigger of a destroyer or a supply ship, that's going to be really big, so that's going to take up a lot of bricks, but hopefully I can build one, simply because I want to have something else to go along with this U-boat, because it's, you know, there's really nothing to do with it besides sail it, so when I actually display it, I'd like to have another ship to go along with it. So that's just kind of a plan for now, and of course I'll show videos if I can get that thing finished, or if I can start building one soon, then I'll definitely show you guys that, because it would be pretty cool. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll be sure to have more videos coming soon. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.